Hi guys, so today I'm reviewing Ijubas, the dual forms. There's 100 pieces in here, and these are numbered just like regular tips are, except these are not regular tips. So this is a form, and bear with me because this is the very first time and the very first nail that I have ever done with this, and I'm going to start with this one I picked out. We're gonna attempt to fix this nail here, and this is a size 5, which is normally about the size of a tip that I would put on there. And you just want to make sure that you're getting, all the way to the side, to the very edge of your nail. And I think I'm not going to put it all the way to the very cuticle. I think I'm going to leave a little space back so that it'll be easier for me to taper it. At least that's how I'm going to try it this first time. So I'm doing gel, and I'm using a builder gel. It's by IBD. I'm using their pink builder gel, and we'll see how this goes. This will be interesting. So some of you may have already done this and might be able to do this even better than I can, but so I'm just putting it, just putting some in here, and I definitely hope to get enough in the center part where the apex is, but I know I also need to kind of watch it because I don't want to put too much so that it squeezes out and is a big mess either. I'm not even sure how long I want to do this, so I think I'm going to do it kind of on the long. There are lines in this, kind of like little ridge lines. I'm just going to push it. You've got to be careful because you don't want to get air bubbles in here either. And so I don't know if you can see what I'm doing, but I'm just kind of pushing it back, trying to make sure I've got enough in there. And I can tell you this, that it's probably better to use at least pink, especially for your first few times trying this, so at least you can kind of see it. Because if you tried clear, it'd be really hard, I think. Really hard to see. So I just want to make sure that I've got some going up enough where the sidewalls are. And so hopefully I won't get any gaps or anything. Yeah, okay. So here we go. And let me get my light over here, cover up my gel. And I'm using a Gelish light. I will put everything that I'm using in the information box. So I'm going to just kind of smush it down on here, try and get it, as straight as I can. And hopefully I won't have any air bubbles. Come on, stay. I think if your gel is on the thicker side, that you probably have a better chance, because I'm not sure if mine's going to stay here. And see, it's squishing out the edges, so I'm going to have to, so maybe I did put too much in there. It's going to take some practice, just like everything else. But I'm going to go ahead and, grab some of this off the edge here. Make sure I've got it off the edge over here. And I think I'm just going to set it. So I'm going to set it for 60 seconds. The other thing about getting it too thick also is because then you have the potential, like that, of a heat spike. So then if it starts to get too warm, just pull it out. You wait a few seconds and push it back in until the light goes off, and then we're going to want to set it, we're going to want to turn our finger upside down and set it underneath too, to make sure that it's set good. This would probably be easier with Gelish is one brand that has it, but the new Polygel, because that's even thicker and it won't move, so that would probably be a lot easier to keep your tip in place and also, so it doesn't move on you. So I'm going to set it So I've got my hand turned upside down. I'm going to set it in there. Another 30 seconds. And we'll see what it looks like then. So this will be interesting since I've never ever used these before, and I do acrylic in my business. I'm a nail tech, and so I do acrylics, I do gel. I would say I specialize in gel though. I also through the years have done silk wrap, fiberglass wrap, so I can do just about anything. I probably will order some of the poly gel because I've been wanting to try that too. I definitely think it would be probably easier to use the forms with that. And maybe even with acrylic, or just if your gel is, thicker. So I'm going to do it one more set just in case. So altogether this will be 90 seconds. I think you're only supposed to have to do it for 60 seconds, but I would still probably want to do it at least 90 seconds to maybe even 60 on the top and 60 on the bottom. You'll kind of figure that out, and I'll kind of figure it out as I go, but we're finding this out together for the very first time. So hopefully we will get a nail out of this. And I'm kind of curious to see, how, is it going to be too thin? Is it going to have enough, meat to the structure of it? And even if it, you have to put more, layers on, that's not such a bad thing. Okay, so we're supposed to be able to just pinch it at the sides. So I'm going to try that. Pinch it and rock it. Okay, that worked. I think I was a little heavy-handed, and I might have, I don't know, I heard a crack noise, but this actually looks okay. I don't see a crack in it, so hopefully I didn't crack this. It looks all right, except that it looks like I did get some, it's not air bubbles, but it's like little pits, where, so I'm going to go ahead and set this one more time now that I've taken that little form off. That's me, I overkill. Probably don't need to, but I definitely think this is going to be too thin with just regular builder gel, or at least, and normally this builder gel, I've been using it for years. I love it. It works great. But I think for these forms, I personally, since I do kind of overkill on my clients, I want them to last really good for a long time. I think this would be too thin. Unless, maybe with practice I can get it where there's more through the apex, the center part, which is where you need most of your strength comes from. But I will go ahead and I'm going to put another coat over this, like right now, because I don't know if you can see, but I mean, it looks pretty good, for the most part. I think it looks pretty good. And it probably helps if you know what you're doing. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead, and I think the trickiest part for me so far was just to keep that form in place with this gel. But I bet you it'd be super easy with the poly gel, or one of those. But it's doable with this, as you can see. I'm going to go ahead and just add some more. Plus, I didn't put it all the way up to the cuticle. Maybe that would have helped it down better. I'm not sure, but I'm going to put, I'm going to go ahead and put some up to the cuticle. And I want to also make sure, I probably could have shortened this too. I will shorten it and shape it, but I do want to get, because it does seem like it's thinner, that I don't want to break it. So I would definitely be careful with it, when you first take the form off. Probably, I'm definitely, I think, unless I can get it thicker to start on the first coat with the form, I'm gonna do a second or third coat for sure. So there's some more, and I don't know if you can, how well you can see that, but got a little blob right there. I'm gonna get off, and I'll look at the other side too. So you know you want to check your side walls to make sure that you don't want it too thick, because you're gonna, if you're gonna do more coats, which I am, I just want to make sure though that it's smooth. And I didn't get any pits on the side, so I think that's pretty good. The only place that it looked like there was some was right in here. So I'm gonna, I think, add some more right around the apex, kind of a blobbish, and kind of work it down here. And I don't brush over the top of it, I just kind of push it, and kind of push, pull forward down the nail. I think I'm going to add a little more just through here. I hope you can see what I'm doing. And okay. So there you have it. Not bad. And I'm going to clean up around the edge here. My little pusher. That's just how I'm used to doing it. Just kind of clean up any excess that got on my skin. And I'm going to go ahead and put that in there. Now, I went ahead and I had prepared it ahead of time, my naked nail, and I put alcohol, or you can use Bondex or whatever that you like to use to dehydrate it. I'd already filed over it lightly and to get the old product and stuff off, and then use a primer. Some people just use a bonder. I like to use a primer, and so I already did that in the prep part with the IBD Natural Nail Primer, which is right here, you know, if you're using IBD. And then I'm using the IBD Pink Builder, which I will put in the information box, but you can use acrylic gel, polygel, you know, whatever that you prefer to do. So I'm gonna go, so that looks, I think, you know, shape-wise, it looks a lot better. And so I'm going to go ahead and set it again, and then start filing on it and see how that works. But I think that once you get the hang of these forms, I think that could be pretty cool, and you could probably get pretty fast at it too. And they seem to be reusable, at least, you know, I don't know how many times, but anyway, but you know, you want to definitely sanitize it if you're going to use it on a client, from one client to another client though. You know, whatever your state board rules are. But, okay. So, I'm going to go ahead and take off the sticky, the inhibition layer, and see what we've got here. Okay, go ahead and use that file a little bit and see. So if you're, you know, you wanted that shape and you wanted it that long, you just need to smooth around, you know, the edges. And then you can, you know, actually you could, so if you want it just like it is right now, you could go ahead and you could polish it, you know, or if you wanted to use gel polish, then, you know, it would have been before you take the inhibition layer off, and then you could go ahead and, I'm probably going to shorten this, but just for the sake of this, you know, trying to keep the time down on this video, I'm going to go point to it. Oops, shoot, sorry. Okay, usually I'm just doing nail art, so gotta get kind of get used to working on nails so it's in a direction that you can see it. And if you wear your nails, you know, shorter, of course, they wouldn't have to be, you know, probably built up quite as much, but you definitely need to make sure that your apex and everything has got enough structure there so it can handle all the stuff we do with our fingers and our hands and whatever, especially this time of year for those. Okay, so not perfect. So that's kind of where it is now. And you're not supposed to have to file on it. So if you get good enough, you know, you should be able to get it. Use the form. Really smooth on, you know, really. You know, a color on it right now. So anyway, I hope that helped, and I think it's pretty cool. So I'm going to practice with it and hopefully get a lot better. Maybe I'll do a part 2. So thanks, girls. Have fun. Ijuba Forms. Bye.